Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, guys, for the latest in boxing. So I saw a recent interview of Tyson Fury, and he claims that he will slug it out. He claims that, shout out to Seconds Out Radio Raheem, it was that interview that was recently uploaded yesterday, midday yesterday, and he says that the boxing fans are bored with chess matches, guys going in there trying to win decisions. Boxing fans like knockouts, and I do agree with him. Boxing fans do like knockouts. Obviously, I'm one of those boxing fans. I like knockouts, but sometimes you gotta fight a certain style to win against a certain fighter. And one thing he said stood out to me, and that was, he said that he is going to slug it out with Mr. Deontay Wilder. He says when he fights Deontay Wilder, he plans on slugging it out because he wants to be an entertainment. He wants it to be an exciting fight. He wants to entertain the fans. Now, obviously, this could all just be talk. He could just be saying that, and then if he actually does fight Wilder, he'll go back to the way he normally fights. Stick a jab, move, be savvy, have Wilder come after him, counterpunch him all night. But let's say he actually decides to do that. Let's say he actually fights Deontay Wilder, and let's say he actually slugs it out with Deontay Wilder. Let's say he fights Deontay Wilder the way he fought Steve Cunningham. Let's say he comes forward and attempts to smother Deontay Wilder. I personally think that would be a really bad mistake on Fury's part, because what makes Fury a very difficult guy to fight is the fact that he's 6'9", is the fact that he has an 85-inch reach, and is the fact that he knows how to use his height and his reach to his advantage. He knows how to be slick. He knows how to make fighters chase him. He knows how to use his height and reach to his advantage. Some guys are that tall, but they don't fight that tall. They fight, bent over, and they fight their opponent's fight. But Fury knows how to fight, how to make his opponents fight his fight. So if Fury were to elect to go and slug it out with Wilder, that would be, in my opinion, a really bad tactic on his part, because he will be given, Deontay Wilder depends on being able to land his right hand. That's what he's always depending on. When you see Deontay Wilder, what is he always doing? It looks like he's thinking, and he looks like he's trying to find an opening to his opponent, right? You look at him, sometimes he has his hands up, blocking his face, and it looks like he's trying to catch his opponent's punches. But if you look closely, he's always throwing that right hand. Every chance he sees, every opportunity he sees, you see him throw the right hand. Because he knows that his right hand is a game changer. He knows if he's able to land on it. He knows if he's able to land on his opponent with the right hand, he could wobble them, hurt them, or possibly knock them out. And he knows once he hurts them, that because he's a killer, he's going to go for broke. So if his opponent is standing right in front of him and slugging it out with him, that is what Deontay Wilder wants. Because if you're standing right in front of Deontay Wilder, you give him the opportunity to land his right hand, right? You give him the opportunity, especially if you're not throwing a jab. Let's say you're just in front of him without throwing a jab, you're going to get caught. But if you're, like I said, the only way you might be able to stand in front of Wilder is if you're throwing a jab. Like Gerard Washington. Washington was standing right in front of Wilder, but he kept throwing that jab, and he had Wilder, second guessing and thinking. Like Wilder was thinking throughout that fight for the first 5 rounds, because he was afraid. If you look at that fight, he was afraid to get encountered, Wilder, because he kept throwing that jab, and he was, he was feinting a lot, Gerard Washington. And look at how, intimidated Deontay Wilder was to let his right hand go, because he probably thought he was going to get countered. But that's the only way I could see you standing in front of Deontay Wilder. But if you're just standing in front of him just to stand in front of him and slug it out, you are basically asking to get knocked out. That's why I do believe that if you don't have the best jab, to try and outbox Wilder, to make him chase you the way Arthur Spoka did. And the fact that Tyson Fury knows how to fight tall, knows how to be savvy, knows how to make his opponent come to him. If they fight, and if I'm a Tyson Fury fan, I would want to see Fury fight the way he normally fights. Make Wilder think. Make Wilder come after him. And then play the, matador and counter all night. And make Wilder miss. And then when you make him miss, you make him pay by countering. And, catching him with your own counter punches. Whether it's a right hand, whether it's an uppercut. That's what I think Fury should do. I think it's a bad mistake if Fury actually just elects to go on the inside, elects to fight toe-to-toe with Deontay Wilder. I think that would be to his disadvantage. I think he would be giving away his height, his reach, because we have to keep in mind, Fury does not have the best chin. Fury is a guy who, if you remember when Fury was first coming up, he was kind of a guy who fought on the inside. Then he kind of changed his style, right? He became more of a savvy type of fighter. He started fighting a lot more defensive-wise, right? He became known as like the defensive type of fighter, Fury, as he progressed in his career. But when he was first starting out, Fury, he didn't fight that way. He was more of an aggressive, in-your-face type of fighter. And he got rocked several times. He also got dropped several times. Everybody remembers when he got dropped against Steve Cunningham, who was a guy who was a former cruiserweight, who wasn't a big puncher. But prior to that, before that, he got dropped by guys by Nevin Pavic. I always forget how to pronounce his name, but Nevin something, who was a guy who had like 5 KOs. He got dropped by that guy. He also got rocked. I believe he fought Nikolai Furfa. Yeah, he got rocked by Nikolai Furfa. Nikolai Furfa was not a big puncher. So Tyson Fury, in my opinion, I don't think he has the best punch resistance, because you saw evidence of that when he was first coming up, when he was getting dropped by these guys who are not big bangers at all. They're not big bangers. He got dropped by some of these dudes, and he got hurt by some of these dudes, and he was on Queer Street by some of these dudes. It all became, everything changed once he changed his style. Once he started fighting his savvy boxer, counter punching, I'm gonna fight tall type of style, the way he is fighting these days. Once he changed his style, that's when he stopped getting, rocked. He stopped getting knocked down, because he made it more difficult for his opponents to be able to land properly on him. Because, like for example, Vladimir Klitschko could have knocked out Tyson Fury, but the reason he couldn't do it is because the way Tyson Fury elected to fight against him. Like, say Tyson Fury would have tried and slug it out with Vladimir Klitschko. Vladimir Klitschko would have had the opportunity to catch Tyson Fury. But Tyson Fury is an intelligent fighter, so he elected to fight that slick, savvy fighter, type of style, and make Vladimir Klitschko, the technician, chase him. And it became impossible for someone like Vladimir Klitschko to even land on Tyson Fury. So, again, if I'm Fury, I would be seriously fighting the way I normally fight, because if weak punchers are able to drop Fury, the one thing about Deontay Wilder is his punching power is legit. His punching power is the truth. His resume ain't shit. His title defenses ain't shit. But he is a puncher, and that's something that has always been apparent. He is a big puncher. And if, low-level punchers are able to drop Fury, then Wilder would 100% be able to drop Fury and hurt him if he's able to land. So Fury, if he's smart, he wouldn't slug it out with Deontay Wilder, because doing that would give Wilder a massive chance on landing on him, seriously hurting him and stopping him. And I'm pretty sure Fury doesn't want that. I'm pretty sure Fury wants to win against Deontay Wilder. I'm pretty sure Fury wants to become the WBC heavyweight champion of the world. And like I said in the past, if Fury manages to beat Deontay Wilder, that is quite impressive. That's quite impressive, because Deontay Wilder is active. Fury is not. Deontay Wilder's always in shape. Fury bounces back between being in shape, being out of shape. So if somebody like Fury, who hasn't been quite active in the past few years, had to lose a bunch of weight, is able to beat Deontay Wilder, that to me is quite impressive. And I would actually give Tyson Fury a lot of credit for that. Just in my personal opinion, because I think it's a better. It looks better on Fury beating Wilder than Wilder beating Fury, because, like I said, the circumstances. Fury, it's more impressive on Fury because he's coming off a 2-year layoff. He's able to beat Wilder, and it's less impressive on Wilder because he's fighting a guy coming off a 2-3 year layoff, and having to lose a whole bunch of weight. So, yeah, I would actually give Deontay Wilder more credit. But yeah, guys, that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching, guys, and much appreciated. Bye-bye.